I like, click, subscribe, do all that, you know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Paradise Hills. Some sci-fi movie thriller stuff that came out 2019. It's an hour and a half long. Spoiler alert, let's just get it. So we see this girl named Uma is like some type of masquerade ball and whatnot. Dancing with the folks of higher class and all that, yeah. And she's supposed to meet with this dude named Sun. Apparently that's the dude she's supposed to be getting married to. So as you can see, most of these people are dressed like they're in the 1900s or something. Probably an earlier time than that. I don't know my geography. But don't say you get this clip from outside. What is this, a fucking hover car? What is it, Back to the Future shit? So she's just lying there in bed waiting on her husband. And there he is giving off this evil face. Then he starts kissing her, trying to give her that business. Then all of a sudden we cut to 2 months earlier. She's in some random spot. Now if this is supposed to be some type of dungeon or prison, this is the most colorful prison I've ever seen. Then she's talking to this intercom and the intercom responds back that she's in paradise. Then these guys with white suits come in with food and stuff. They all dressed up like they belong in the psych ward, you know what I'm saying? One bird flew over the goddamn cuckoo's nest type shit. She's about to take the food, but then she makes a break for it. Then we see her running through this labyrinth of steps, this secret garden forestry of roses. Then we find out she's actually on an island. She runs into this cave and meets this chick named Armani. She needs help getting off the island and Armani's about to help her. But she really doesn't. All she does is take her back to the dudes. Back to the spot you go. They take her to this room where she meets the mademoiselle of this island. We basically find out most people are there for therapy, and most people that got there, their parents sent them here. In Uma's situation, it was her mom. She keeps talking about how her mom was wanting her to marry somebody of higher class, this dude by the name of Sun. Yeah, the guy you saw earlier. So we found out right at the back it's supposed to be about higher class and lower class citizens and stuff. And they say it's just a 2-month trial. After that, you're just free to go. While she's there, she befriends this girl named Chloe and this chick named Yu who always keeps her headphones on. Afterwards, they gotta get themselves dressed for dinner. Not really much of a dinner, right? Looks like a flower and some fucking asparagus. Now, everybody on the island wears white to make sure, I guess, to make them look like they're pure. So while they're all chilling at this table, they all discover Armani looking at him, who we find out is actually a singer in real life. Uma talks to her in the bathroom. She's like, yo, why you turn me in? Armani's like, look, I can't have them discover me in my cave. That's why I hide out to smoke cigarettes, nigga. So Armani's letting Uma know about a lot of stuff, and they're starting to become friends a little bit. Later on, she lays in the bed, but she's not even really sleepy like that. Then without knowing it, it's morning. She done woke up so damn quick. After they wake up, they sit in front of the mirror to do makeovers. And I gotta say, with that outfit, she really looks like something out of The Wizard of Oz now. Then she has another conversation with the madam. She wants her to look into the mirror and see her deeper inner thoughts. But once again, she brings up the thing about her not wanting to marry his son. There's a reason for that, but I'll tell you later. Then they take time to do ballet or yoga or whatever the hell they're doing. Then these two guards take Uma to a room where she sits on a merry-go-round horse. It rises her up into the top of the air. And then she starts seeing all these visions about his son. And it seems like one big paradise commercial. Afterwards, she can't take no more and damn near passes out as the horse is coming down. And we know that she has scratches on the palm of her hands. She goes talk to the madam again, and they pretty much have similar conversation. Then we get a montage of the crew chilling. Then Uma talks about this dude she really wanted to marry, this dude by the name of Marcus. But they've lost contact ever since she's got there. But then all of a sudden out the blue, this motherfucker pops up. Why is Armani looking all jealous? Well, anyway, the lovebirds finally meet up again. But how is this possible? So apparently he took a boat there, and now he's supposed to be working as part of the crew. But his job is to find a way for both of them to get off the island. So apparently he found out she was there through her mom. But here's my question. Marcus is from the lower class, right? Uma's mom didn't want to have anything to do with him. She wanted Uma to marry Sun because Sun was part of the higher class. So why the hell would her mom tell Marcus anything about Uma's whereabouts? Maybe he overheard some information or something, I don't know. Well, anyway, he got the kissing, supposedly giving her the business. One reason I say that because they ain't showed on camera. And then Armani was looking through the peephole, but why is she crying though? Later on, they all gather around at dinner. She tells them about Marcus. Then Armani gets up on stage and does karaoke. They let her sing a song. But then they ain't even let her finish her song before it's time to go to bed. And as they was going to sleep, we find out Uma has this locket which has a whole hologram of her and her dad. The next day she wakes up, her locket's gone. Then all of a sudden the alarm's going off. All the staff is rushing to the beach. Apparently somebody's trying to get away. So while all the guys are trying to figure out who's trying to escape, they tell all the girls to go to the showers. I'm like, showers? But apparently you didn't want to listen. So the madam just yokes her up real quick, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then she was yelling, the damn background glass was about to break. I'm like, what the fuck? But they calm the madam down, and they do what she says. Later on, Armani and Uma go back to the cave by the boat, and Armani tells her they don't have security at night. And why is that? Because they don't need to. See, the thing is, the people have been drugging the milk that they drink at dinner time, and that's why they fall asleep so quickly at night. She tells her, look, Uma, if you're going to escape with Marcus, just take me with you. She says she'll be on the docks around like 11 or something. Now, I ain't seen not a clock, phone, calendar. How the hell do they know what time it is? Hell, how do they even know what day it is? So later on she goes to talk to Marcus and makes me wonder to myself, who the hell was trying to escape the island? Now I know Armani didn't want Uma to tell Marcus everything that she just told her, but I got a feeling she ended up telling him anyway. Then we find out this is supposed to be Armani's last day. She's supposed to be getting off the island. So I know she's thinking to herself, conveniently the day after I just told you some vital information? Then Uma pretends to drink her milk, goes to the bathroom, spits that shit out, and meets up with Armani. She took this clip out of the back of her head, but this clip is not only to keep her hair intact, it actually has a map on the inside of it. She wishes her good luck and gives her a kiss, I knew she was on it for some reason. Jealous looks and all that shit. So nighttime she's in the bed, but this time she's wide awake. And she saw somebody carrying a body on a stretcher. They took a girl into some other room, but she didn't think she could get past the security cameras, so she just played dead when they came around. But because she's not quote unquote finished with her treatment yet, they didn't take her in another room. Instead, they just took her back to her bed. Back to the makeovers again. This time she gets on a horse again. She's having visions about her parents. But then we find out her father died and the dude's son had something to do with it. So that's why she don't want to marry this nigga. So then she starts throwing a fit after getting off the horse, talking about everything's a fucking lie. I guess she was making too much of a disturbance for everybody else on the island. So they put her back at the dungeon. This time with nowhere to go, they forced her to eat and drink her milk. Next thing we know, she wakes up, she's back in the Mademoiselle's place. Then she sees a vision. Turns out it's Armani, she's back in the limelight, back to making music, singing and whatnot. And she's got a dude in her life. Uma's devastated by all this, but for what reason, I'm not exactly sure. Then the madam sneaks up from her behind and she smacks the fuck out of her. She got this cut on her head and she hit the mirror, but she's not even thinking about that. She's actually there to tell her that she's about to be free to go. So she's thinking to herself, what the hell? How long have I been here? That dosage of milk must have been a stronger dose because she's been out for 2 weeks. So later on, she goes back to the cave. She's there with Chloe and Yu, and she's like, man, we gotta get the fuck out of here. But Yu's not all in just yet. Because she's thinking to herself she ain't got nowhere to go because of her upscale parents sending her here in the first place. She came from a poor area and went all the way to Beijing with her rich parents that basically sent her there to straighten up. Uma somehow is trying to do a little bit of convincing. She kind of tells him about the plan, but he thinks she's gonna wait. But while she's kissing him, she grabs this thing out of his pocket. Looks like some type of controller or something. Dinner time, they find excuses in some ways to spit their milk out. And Yu gets on board, she spits that shit out too. Now they're all up at night to try to find some way to escape. But then some of the subordinates come in, so they gotta play like they sleep. Unfortunately, Yu's almost done her treatment, so they end up taking her. And after they take her, Chloe and Uma gotta find these fuckers and save Yu. They start going through these James Bond passageways. Then they end up going to this other room where they got Yu on this operating table. They attack the guys to get Yu up out of there, but apparently she's feeling sick or something. I don't know if she got hit with the gas that was inside one of those cups or whatever the case may be. Bottom line, she was having trouble breathing. Then they go to this computer room where it literally has everybody's mannerisms, and they find out these people ain't trying to help people, they're basically observing them for some type of research. But what for? So while Chloe's trying to find a way out, Uma starts doing research on Marcus with the remote that he stole out of his pocket. And in the rooms that she thought was safe, it was being recorded, showing the both of them kissing and stuff. So what did she think he was lying about? About them not being seen or something? Because it doesn't look like he would know, but I don't know. Anyway, they pick up Yu and then they go to this spot where the water is at. There's like a pool of people with bandages on their face. But then one of them rips the bandages off and it's actually Yu. It's like, what the fuck? And this is where we find out these motherfuckers been making clones the entire time. But what's the reason? But then out the blue, Yu ends up dying because she was losing oxygen to her lungs. So Uma gives this speech about her dad and that's when we find out Sun actually took over the company and ended up killing her dad. So that's a good enough reason why you want to marry this bitch ass nigga named Sun, right? There you go. So she says fuck it and gives her a locket to one of the clones. So I guess the alarm was tripped and they're still getting chased by these bootleg Star Wars stormtroopers and shit. But luckily they end up getting in an elevator. They go in this area where it's nothing but plants. Somewhere along the way, Chloe gets snatched up by what? And then what I thought what Uma was looking at was a bunch of pods or something. But then she goes deeper, she sees the real Armani dead as shit. So the one that she saw back at Hollywood acting is obviously the clone. She finds Chloe, but we found out Chloe got snatched up by the plant and she's done deal dead as shit. And then the plant captures Uma. But then we found out the Mademoiselle has actually been a plant the entire time. What in the Batman poison ivy shit is this? So basically the therapy shit is all a scam. She makes clones of people and the real people she sucks the life out of them just for nutrients. So she can keep on living. So random question, she ain't got no money, right? So how the hell she has so many other subordinates following her evil plans? Unless those are possibly clones too. So she's basically about to suck Uma dry. Then here comes her clone and basically tries to confuse her. While Poison Ivy's trying to figure this shit out, Uma stabs her in her heart with a fucking blade she had in her pocket. She withers away, done deal, dead as shit. Both Uma and the clone get away before the cave collapses. Then we see Marcus going by the boat. He's looking for everybody. Then Uma and the clone pop up out of the blue like, fuck out of here with that shit. He tries to give some heartfelt speech, but he makes sure they get away. So the clone was the one that had her locket. She gave it back. Then we found out the clone's real name is Anna. She's had 2 brothers and comes from a different background. So wait a minute. They actually used other people, transformed their DNA into them, and used them to make clones. So anyway, they drifted off the island of the boat. Then we get back to this scene. Back to where Sun was about to give Uma the business. But this time, while all this is happening, she's pulling a knife out the pillow and stabbing him in his fucking back. This lady heard something and got concerned. Before she go up the steps, Uma stops him. Oh, I get it. Uma was the one that stabbed him. Anna was the one there making sure that everything went perfectly, and she's going to take the place of Uma. Meanwhile, Uma jumped out the window to make sure she was able to get away, and Anna's going to live the life that Uma didn't want to live. So once Uma got away, Anna cried out like somebody else killed Sun. Yeah, it was crazy. And then Uma dips out with this green hoodie looking like something from the Wizard of Oz. Matter of fact, this whole forest looked like Wizard of Oz. Where's the fucking yellow brick road? Well, that was a very colorful and interesting movie. I felt like the Labyrinth, Wizard of Oz. You had a cloning station disguised as a therapy institution. What more can I ask for? Paradise Hills on Netflix. Check it out. Like, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Look easy out the easy miss. Big, you goddamn slogan.